Hey folks, Bob Corcoran here with another tip of the week sponsored by Bob Corcoran and Associates. Today I'm honored to have here Chuck Lemire. Chuck has been a longtime partner with mine, trusted colleague, and mentor of mine. Chuck, welcome to today's tip.
Thanks, Bob. Glad to be here, and it's always a pleasure to be with you. I love you much.
Yeah, it's so good. This topic is right up your alley and talking about never stop learning. Growth is the key to long-term success. What does that mean to you?
Great topic, because I believe we have two things in life, right? We have two jobs, to learn and to cope.
Okay.
However, I used to, when I would speak to agents, no matter whether it was when I was with Remax of New England or whether it was Remax Europe, and we were teaching realtors in the Czech Republic about the real estate industry. Before the Velvet Revolution 12 years ago, there was no real estate industry because it was a communist bloc country. The state owned all the real estate. So we had to teach people, they had to learn about real estate. Now, these were highly educated people. They knew a great deal about a lot of things, but they needed to learn about real estate. Now, we see it in our industry, because people who want this as a career have to learn a lot of things. But I always used to start the meetings with two things, one of which is a catchphrase: the more you learn, the more you earn. Because if you spell out learn and take off the L, that's what you've got. And I've found that in our industry, the people that continue to learn are the people who have the greatest success. Because you have been in the business, Bob, for over 30 years, and we've seen agents have to learn an awful lot of things because we used to just pick up the phone. That was all we had. We've seen the advent of copiers and fax machines and, phones, and then now technology as we now know it. There's and now we're learning Chat GPT and AI and all sorts of things. So you always have to keep learning. But I go back to, something that was said in a seminar that I went to, because when I was a young agent in Boston, went to see Floyd Wickman. And he was one of the original real estate trainers, along with Tom Hopkins and Howard Brinton. And they were great trainers. But Floyd Wickman said, I once knew a realtor who had a CRI or a GRI, a CRB, a ABR, a CCIM, but didn't have any MONEY, right? So you can be an academician and learn a lot and not make any money. It takes action, right? And we see that with our clients, Bob. How many times do you see them either acting and expecting results, but they haven't learned, or they're learning and they never take action and they're not
Boom.
successful? So,
Chuck, Chuck, that's a huge point right there. I'm all about education and learning. I've always been a subscriber to Star Power. Okay, even Mike Ferry webinars. Okay, education is power. And, it goes back to, folks, if you're not learning, you're dying.
Correct. If you're not growing, you're dying. Bob, at Corcoran and Associates, what is the most basic thing we teach or we make sure that our buyer agents or our team leaders learn?
How to make money.
Yeah, but let's take a look at an acronym that we have, LP Mama.
Oh, okay.
Right? Very
folks,
stuff.
Very LP Mama. Gee, what do our listeners know about that, Chuck?
Well, I think
do I want to share it on the video, or do I want them to reply to us?
Yeah, I think that if they really wanted the multiple sheets that we have on it and they could get the script, and they basically know what it is, because LP Mama for us is the basics of learning when you have an incoming lead, what to ask. It's the basic questions.
Chuck, we wrote that script. We wrote that script on converting leads, didn't we, with LP Mama? Yep. Folks, if you don't know what LP Mama is, please email Chuck at bobcorcoran.com and ask them for the LP Mama script. It is a script that I will guarantee will convert more buyers for you than any script you've ever had in the world.
Correct. Now,
Okay,
we teach a
folks,
lot of other things, Bob, because I remember a client of yours, when you asked them for their P&L, their answer was what?
how do you spell P&L?
So, you know, I feel for people because people just haven't had the exposure, because
No.
we know in our business there are some great realtors out there, but that doesn't necessarily mean they know the leadership and business acumen to be a great team leader or a great broker. So you have to
Amen.
keep learning. And the good news is there's a lot of great people out there that can teach you on
You know,
all.
also, Chuck, folks, look outside of real estate speakers also.
Yeah,
Okay. Patrick Lencioni wrote the
sure.
book Five Dysfunctions of a Team. Great asset if you're thinking of building a team and looking at dysfunction. You got Michael Gerber's book, The E Myth. There's
Right.
a lot of books out there, folks, that if you haven't read them, that you can absolutely apply to the real estate industry to make you millions of dollars. Now, maybe you don't want to make millions. Maybe you only want to make 100,000, and that's okay. It's your choice. But our clients that we deal with, Chuck, what do they say? Hey, if you want to make millions, you coach with Bob Corcoran and Associates.
Yeah, but we're
You want
always
to make
teaching you.
millions, coach with Chuck Lemire. Only
Watch
if
this one, Bob. We have customers and clients, and they want to learn how to use technology and lead generation systems. They want to learn about blogging and about YouTube Shorts. They want to learn about analytics and Google reviews, and all of that is extremely important to learn. I, when I say this, you're going to go, "Oh my God, I really didn't even think about that." Because I believe that 100% of the realtor population don't learn the one thing they should learn, because
which
it's the
is,
one thing that we do on a daily basis, which is speak. It's our only tool
oh my
outside
God, I
of using
never even
technology.
thought of that, Chuck.
How about going to a public speaking course or going to Toastmasters?
Oh, boom. There you, I'd never even thought of that, Chuck.
Right. Think of it this way. Notice how, if we replay this tape, have you and I ever said the word ah, or
Nope.
yes? No,
Yeah.
right?
Intentional.
Have we uttered the T word?
Oh, T word. Try. Here
Right?
you go, folks. Our clients pay us $150 every time they say the T word. So if you want to coach with us, this is the commitment you're getting into.
And that's about learning how to speak. And
There
I've
you
met
go.
some great people throughout my career, because whether it be as a realtor or as a chief executive officer, certainly speaking was one of the greatest parts of my job. And
Well, when you were CEO Remax of Europe, I'm sure you did a heck of a lot of public speaking, correct?
and I had to learn how to speak because, of course, in 37 different countries, there's 19 different languages. Needed to adjust my vocabulary. I needed to slow down my speech. I need to speak quietly and specifically and articulately and in 3 word sentences. Because if I talked like this and I rattled on, no one would understand. No
No.
differently than when I went to Scotland and I couldn't understand them, but they were speaking English. So,
Right, right.
and if you really think of it this way, Bob, because you've touched on something that is about speaking, I realized after being the CEO of Remax in New England and then went to Europe, of course, is the translation challenge. And of course, I was conscious of the fact that they're not understanding me or I'm not understanding them. And that's the key basis to trust in relationship. But I realized this one thing. When I was in New England as a CEO, we were all speaking the same language,
Yep.
but we still weren't understanding each other.
We all speak different dialects.
Correct. So, like you've said, watch your words because your words are important. Keep it simple, keep it on a third grade level. Watch the tone of your voice, right? Watch your body language because we speak, but we're usually face to face. So, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, allow you to learn more about a person and develop a very strong level of trust. And that's our job. People need to know us, like us, and trust us.
Amen. That's huge right there, Chuck.
Well, the more we learn, the more we earn.
Folks, another great tip delivered to you by Chuck Lemire. Folks, if you need any other information or if you're interested in what does a coach look like, just email chuck@bobcorcoran.com. Or if you want to subscribe to these tips of the week, go to our website, go to our email signature, subscribe to it. We'll be happy to oblige you. It's been a pleasure. Have fun. We love you. We look forward to talking about your success. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Have a great day.
You too, Chuck. Bye.